All right, so affinity, to cut through the jargon for a second here, refers to a mechanic that makes artifacts cheaper for each other artifact you have in play. So you'll frequently hear the deck I call robots called affinity. And I prefer to call it robots because robots are artifact creatures like these. And this deck notably doesn't play any cards that have affinity in them anymore. If we wanted to name this archetype after an ability, probably call it Metalcraft because we still play Metalcraft cards. But I think, regardless of what you call it, this is an archetype that's been on the fringes of Modern for a while. And frequently, like, this is a deck where, like, when it doesn't post a top 8 result, you're like, oh, I'm not surprised that it's not in the top 8, but when it does post a strong result, you're also not, like, surprised that it showed up, because this deck has some really good, efficient, explosive draws in the back of, like, Arcbound Ravager and Cranial Plating, and I also think we've been talking about the format being a little bit more fair right now, or there being, you know, more fair than Modern previously was is a low bar, but, like, you know, the fact that you're seeing fair decks more often than we previous were, Etched Champion here is very good in those style of matchups. Hey, Dim Ladrus, thank you for the 11 months. Strickles, thanks for the 10 months. Recently made a move to South Korea to study abroad for a year, and I'm finally settling in. It's 11 p.m. here, so I still get to watch before bed. Well, good to have you. We start nice and early here, or nice and late for you. So, at any rate, we've got 4 copies of Stoneforge Mystics in here. We got some Cranial Platings and some Batterskulls, so let's go ahead and do it. Did I just join with the wrong deck? I might have just joined with the wrong deck. Alright, when I use this Join League button and ask me which deck I want to join with, I would like to join with robots. Thank you. I'm out of tickets, chat. I need to go sell some treasure chesties. I was hoping to avoid selling treasure chesties until the new set dropped, because I'll go up in price then, but we're out of tickets, and I think I have almost. Well, thanks for engaging in the process, hostage, and to getting informed a little bit, and actually getting out to vote. Yeah, we got 86 chests, so no danger of needing to spend actual dollars anytime soon. No, if you drop a league without spending any money, it gives you your entry fee back. Yeah, without playing any games. Yeah, if you haven't played, if you join a match, you don't get your entry fee back. Yes, that's different from Arena. Can you explain how the monetary system of MTGO works? It's basically identical to Paper Magic, is the TLDR. It's a system where a ticket is $1, and you earn treasure chests, which you can sell for tickets. And you can also, because you can trade between users, you can buy and sell things for cash, which effectively makes playing Magic Online very close to online gambling. Alright, so I think I'm gonna Memnite, Spire, Galv Blast this guide this turn. Sadistic, thank you for the 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. New to Twitch, but I heard you started playing non-Magic games Hex when? I've played non-Magic games in the past. The Warhammer TCG is a non-Magic game that I've played somewhat recently. Hex is a dead game, so I'm not sure if you're just memeing that it's a dead game. So I feel like anybody, so one of the things you have to understand, Misfits, is that especially with how many candidates are in the current race, is the current polls aren't super meaningful because a lot of people just aren't paying attention yet, is the reality of the situation. Like there's a lot of people who just like have yet to engage in the political process at all. And I think candidates like Yang and Pete both have a lot of appeal to people who generally don't get very invested because of both the ways that they're able to articulate themselves and the points that they're trying to get across. So I was really hoping to draw a third land there so that way I could play and equip Cranial Plating and get a decent swing in with this Vault Skirge. But alas. So I don't know that I want to go back down to 10 here. I think I'm just going to play the Cranial Plating. If I go down to 10, I die to Boros Charm plus another 3. I think I'd prefer not to die to that. Yeah, a lot of people who are like aware of the politics that are going on right now are pretty invested, Jinx. My point is there's a lot of people who just aren't engaged at all yet. Yeah, I agree with that, Bright Star. Based on historical data, hanging your hat on the polls that have happened so far shows a misunderstanding of how these things tend to work. We could be dead here. So like they need a burn spell. If they can't kill this, the game is basically over. Yeah, I agree. I was actually really disappointed that 11 people are qualifying for the second debate. I think that's too many still. Always dead to Boros Charm. Just gotta try and race here. I'm just getting another Cranial Plating here. Yep. I think the funniest part about the orange idiot profiting off of having things in his own properties is like the people who bought that he wasn't taking the presidential salary because he didn't want to make money off his presidency. It's like, no, he just did that because he knew he could make money in different ways. Who is Pete referring to? Pete refers to Pete Buttigieg. It's the only Pete in the Democratic primary. He's currently the mayor of a small town in Indiana. I guess I don't know the size of his town. I don't know. Well, I know the size. I don't know if South Bend's considered small or not. Depends on who you ask, I suppose. Am I just clicking submit? I think I'm clicking submit. I think giving people a tax credit to vote is a great suggestion. Shellers, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Medium's probably accurate. Hofford is like, are we? Match 1, game 2. The sideboard does not really have cards for burn here. It's a little bit medium. How do you spell that last name? Search Mayor Pete. I don't know how to spell Buttigieg. Search Mayor Pete. Who's my candidate choice? I've given money to Yang, Pete, and Warren. I think Yang is currently my favorite, but I'd be pretty happy with anyone who's moderately progressive. People who have strong plans regarding climate change and regarding nationalized healthcare are my two primary voting topics. Anyone but Biden 2020. Yep. Why is Yang my favorite? He seems very grounded, and the things that he talks about are very based in reality. He's like, in a lot of ways, he's like an honest version of Trump. He's like a businessman who like actually made his own name for himself. So by having these activate themselves, I get to cast the Stoneforge Mystic without taking a damage because they turn on Mox Opal, so that's sweet. Yeah, I'd probably vote for Biden if he's elected, if he gets the nomination. But I also think if Biden gets the nomination, it doesn't really matter because nominating Biden means Trump's gonna get reelected. Is likely the reality of the situation. I think I'm having this activate itself again, so I can go ahead and Galv Blast this Grim Lavamancer. Searing Blaze is very good. Yeah, there were a lot of people that didn't really understand Modern or understand Burn. So that thought Stoneforge Mystic was going to, like, push Burn out of the format, and that just couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah, I agree, Misfits. He's someone who's very, as someone personally who's very analytical based. I appreciate that Yang is also very analytical. All right. Well, we're at 10, but this card kills them very quickly, so we've got that going for us. Yeah, I agree. They need to elect someone in the primary that, or nominate someone in the primary who, like, energizes voters. They're down to 16. And them dead in 2 here, right? I'd really love to draw a land here so we can just jam this Batterskull. They have 2 cards in their hand. So I can attack for 9 here, which puts them dead on board. I think I just hope not to die next turn. I suppose... Yeah, I suppose I can use the other land as a blocker next turn. Let's do this. Let's hit them for 7. And then I can use this as a blocker and potentially be okay here. Yeah, okay. How many more matches until Standard? We're running a little bit late with Modern today. Probably another 45 minutes to an hour before Standard. Unless this deck's a total dumpster fire. Which, to be fair, there's a non-zero chance that it's total dumpster fire. This is the first match with the second deck. Yeah, I agree, Springsburg. The margins through which Trump won several key swing states were lower than the amount of voters who just didn't show up between 2012 and 2016. Those are Blinkmoths, Thunderwunk. Yeah, they are kind of hard to pick out. Sure. Yeah, let's do it. So, is it crazy? Now it's just bottom Batterskull here, right? That's a great draw. This draw means that even if they kill this Ornithopter, I still get to play a 2-drop this turn. Yeah. And we actually talked about that a little bit over the weekend, Seth. In an effort to become fair and balanced, a lot of people... Is it crazy to gobble my board and keep this alive? I feel like it's not, right? Can I just make this a 4-4? I think I want to just make this a 4-4. Because even if I sacrifice this, I still take 3 from the Searing Blaze, for those that aren't familiar with that interaction. Because we just want to race here, right? One of our big legs up in this matchup is the fact that our lands don't really deal damage to us, which is nice. We had Spire of Industry in the first 2 games, but those are more the exception than the rule. So, for those not familiar, the reason why Searing Blaze still deals damage to us, even if we sack the Arcbound Ravager, is because Searing Blaze targets both the player and the creature. So if it loses the creature, they're still a legal target, so the spell still half resolves. A spell's only countered upon resolution, or countered when it would resolve if it loses all targets. That's good for us. So, I think I'm actually not supposed to fire up Blinkmoth here, and the reason for this is if my opponent has a path to exile and I attack with this Blinkmoth, I don't currently have Metalcraft for this Mox Opal, so I'd be unable to save the counters on the Arcbound Ravager to something else. Hey, Zam, thanks for the 2 months of Prime Sport. I appreciate that. Welcome back. They're up to 13 here. And again, I'm not attacking with both of these because I want to be able to move counters over. I think I'm going to eat this Mox Opal here, though, and just get extra damage in. All right, sweet. We didn't have any cards for burn in the sideboard, but historically speaking, Robots has a good burn matchup, and I feel like that really highlighted why, right? Forge. Stoneforge Mystic. It's been okay. You just beep, 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 run the burn Jeep over. Yeah, I actually haven't updated my ID to a real ID, but I have a passport, so I don't think I'm gonna bother. I don't fly that often either. As a viewer submitted. I had a submission for just robots with Stoneforge Mystic. and I took a 5-0 deck list. I think my main deck is card for card the 5-0 deck list, and I updated the sideboard. If I recall correctly. But I did pick the details on this one. Hey, Meister Gallon, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. All right, out of the frying pan into the fryer. Looks like another burn matchup here. I think no Steel Overseer is actually a really good choice right now. I think Steel Overseer is one of your worst cards in the fair interactive matchups. And there's a lot of people playing like Jeskai and Jund right now. Wow, that's good for us. Deal Areno. Oh, that's a good draw. The 0 cost here lets us make a mana with the Springleaf Drum, so we can go ahead and drop this Etched Champion. Yeah, that missed land drop probably means we're going to run them down. They really don't have time to stumble against our decent draws, and our draw's pretty reasonable here. Yeah, we get to play an Equip Cranial Plating next turn and just, like, give them the business. And just like the last burn match, I think we're just clicking submit here. Maybe I'm supposed to bring in the dispatch. I could see that being okay. I don't even know what I really want to cut though. Maybe a Signal Pest isn't amazing here. Honestly, it's probably just click submit. Drop a Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, I can see that. It's a little clunky. Yeah, we'll play a dispatch. Extra removal spell seems fine. I did not German Space Ace. Thanks for the reminder. I'll do that. I'll ping them again today. Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Signal Pest is one of those cards where it's hard to really gauge the, like, exact power level of it, I think. Morning, Rippers. For folks who are standard normals, my normal folks for standard, we're currently in our second match with the second modern deck, so we might run a little bit long on modern day, but we should be into arena about 10:30 or so at the latest. Loved a lot of your YouTube content. Awesome, Gallon. I really appreciate that. If you ever have a particular deck that you'd like to see, all the details on how my deck submission queue can be found here on my website. I appreciate the support. Good to have you here. One Mox Opal, please. Arcbound Ravager, also decent. Used to play a lot of traditional Affinity and had Steel Shaper's Gift in the list. It's another way to find Cranial Plating. It seemed a bit lackluster. Yeah, I think the extra body is good. I think the body's super relevant. I also think the flexibility of having Batterskull and Sword of Fire and Ice also make the Stoneforge Mystic pretty meaningful. I feel like the addition of Stoneforge Mystic gives us this really elegant way to have... And the one-lander again? Okay. It gives us a really nice... The addition of Stoneforge Mystic gives us a nice way to hedge the fair matchups while still having a deck that's capable of aggressive draws. Now this time, if they try and burn the Arcbound Ravager, obviously it's just going to die because we can't save it. But I think that's fine. Didn't get Searing Blaze, so like, our creatures have gained 6 so far here. I'm going to put the counter on my other creature here because I just want to diversify the number of bodies I have my power against. This is the only deck where Feast and Famine isn't better than Fire and Ice. So I've got Fire and Ice as a sideboard card more than anything. And I think I'd like it to be Fire and Ice because, like, traditionally speaking, this archetype tends to struggle against, like, Jeskai. And I think Fire and Ice is much better than Feast and Famine against Jeskai. Batterskull is kind of good against Burn. Like, so Batterskull is good against Burn in the aspect of, like, sure, when you're hitting them with a Batterskull, it's great. But, like, actually hitting them with a Batterskull is frequently going to be challenging. I'm electing to attack them for 1 and play the Vault Skirge this turn rather than jam my 3-drop because Etched Champion doesn't gain protection from colors until I have Metalcraft. And I didn't currently have Metalcraft. Yeah, that's true too. You also don't get much value from untapping your lands in this deck. I also agree with that sentiment. And now I get to play this Etched Champion, and if they go to Bolt Etched Champion, I can activate a creature land in response, and all of my creature lands are artifacts, so I can toggle Metalcraft at any point for this Etched Champion, essentially. Now, if they have 2 removal spells, they're going to be able to kill it, but that's fine. If they spend 2 more removal spells killing my Etched Champion, they're really not going to have enough left to kill me. You use them for both, Thunderwunk. It's definitely a yes type situation. Like, why not? Why not both? Wow, Fetch Shock's aggressive. I would like to activate this. So I don't get to play my Signal Pest here, but I get to keep my Etched Champion, so that's pretty good. Hit you to 8. Now, I actually think, looking at the swords only for protections, that, I'm actually a pretty firm proponent of Sword of Light and Shadow actually being the best one if you're only looking at protections. Because protection from white and black protects you from the hard removal in Modern, and then +2/+2 is basically protection from red on most creatures. That's... yeah, the ability can be hard to leverage, so it has to be in a creature-heavy deck to make the ability okay, but in terms of just, like, blanking removal, I think Sword of Light and Shadow is definitely number 1. Yeah, it's sneakily pro-red. Yeah, this deck in general is very reasonable. Yeah, pretty easy mulligan here. No second mana source. This hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. I think I'm going to go ahead and bottom Galvanic Blast here. Do you have any thoughts on you White Urza compared to the 4-color version? Now, I'm not sure what blue-white Urza refers to. I've not seen that deck list. My question would be, what problems does it solve that the other archetype has? Holy crap, I totally missed playing Stoneforge there because I was reading chat. Yep. That's a big deal. Mistakes were made. So I'd have been hitting with Cranial Plating this turn. Now, I think Cranial Plating's better than... I think Cranial Plating's better than Batterskull by a mile, right? Ooh, they don't have another Tron piece. That's real good for us. I'm equipping Stoneforge Mystic rather than Signal Pest because if they have a Dismember, I'd rather they Dismember Stoneforge Mystic of my 3 creatures. And they're Dismembering whatever gets the Cranial Plating. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, chat! Oh no! Oh no! We found out why no one plays this deck anymore. Got it. Grizz, thanks for the 3/4 of a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Was War of the Spark the biggest design mistake in the last decade? I kind of feel like it was. Can anybody like, are there any other contenders for there? I feel like War of the Spark was the worst design mistake Magic's had in the last decade. No, so like Kaladesh / Energy, some of the rates were wrong, but honestly, I think War of the Spark is much worse. Like, at least Energy only messed up Standard, right? Like, the ripples from War of the Spark have been felt as far as Vintage. Like, in general, taking a step back and looking at Magic as a whole and not just one specific format. I think you're right that... I think chat's right that looking at specific formats, there were worse design mistakes. But I think from the perspective of... like, Magic as a whole... Yeah, True Name, again, is, like, restricted to a very specific format, right? I definitely think there's cases you could make for certain types of cards in specific formats, but I think on the grand scale, Phyrexian Mana is a good one. I think I'd give you Phyrexian Mana is the Stone Cold Bratwurst. Never not Searing Blaze, chat. Never not Searing Blaze. Memnite. Are we dead? I feel like we're dead. Maybe we aren't going to take that long to get to Standard today. Maybe we aren't going to take that long to get to Standard today. I was like, and we might be 10:30 before we get to Standard, and Modern was just like, hold my beer, Jeff. Hold my beer. Well, obviously, I think the version that I'm playing is much better. The reason why I'm playing that configuration as opposed to the other one that you're asking about, Gray, is because I think the build that I was playing is better. Gosh, this hand is so close. No, the deck we played yesterday was the same deck I played in the Modern format playoffs over the weekend, Kreyas. I have some thoughts on some changes I'd like to make to it, but in general, I like that core a lot. Well, I mean, yeah, this is a keep. Definitely bottoming Batterskull. Do I bottom Dispatch or Ravager here? I think it's Dispatch. I think it's Dispatch. Man, what an excellent card to pull up when we're talking about design mistakes. Holy crap. Holy crap. This card is dumb. This is dumb. This is a modern playable card. This card is very modern playable. The fact that it gets lands too is absurd. Yeah, this card is gonna go into a lot of things. Whatever, okay, listen. I'm gonna give you some MTG finance advice here. Whatever this card is pre-ordering for is too low. Whatever this card is pre-ordering at isn't enough. And if you want to play 4 of them, you should probably pre-order them because it's only gonna go up. That's absurd. This will get banned in at least one format. Maybe. Maybe. Alright, and I think I just get Batterskull here, right? Because even if they kill Stoneforge Mystic, I'm on 4 lands already, basically. Well, that's exciting. I've suddenly lost. I was thinking about how do I optimize and build the Saheeli deck in different ways better, but now I'm just like not gonna think about the Saheeli deck again until the new set drops because the Saheeli deck's gonna play 4 of that card. 4 of those is the answer. An Amulet Titan, oh lord. The real question is, why does it find lands? If that card only found creatures, it would be like, okay, this is like a sweet incubation. The fact that it finds lands too is absurd. Also, talk about cards that are better with the London Mulligan. Yeah, of course it goes in Neoshalbrand. Hopefully they're banning that deck soon. All right, well, this might be one turn late. This might be one turn late. Yikes! Well, I mean, at least we don't take 3 from the smash. At least we don't take 3 from the smash. Woof. Woof. Are they dead to infect? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are we 1 short on the infect kill? I think we're 1 short on the infect kill, right? One, two, three, four, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, wait, they're exactly dead, right? Yeah, they're exactly dead because they already have one. They already have one, so they are exactly dead. Sorry, I got there. They already have one, so we hit them last turn. Yay, math. To the person who just DM'd me asking me why they were banned in my channel, on one random afternoon, I went into Todd Stevens' stream and I banned a bunch of the people in my channel who were supporting him. So you're banned because you were in his channel supporting him. So that answers that question. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan this one. And to anybody who's confused as to why that's something I would do, I'd encourage you to Google Todd Stevens. Digitech Wire, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. He's still a streamer. He is one of the top Magic streamers. Top 10 at any given point. What's the bottom here? Is it Arcbound Ravager? I think it might be Arcbound Ravager. It could be Stoneforge Mystic too. Maybe I have enough stuff. He's not viewbotting, unfortunately. I think maybe it's just Mystic. Yeah, maybe it's Mystic. All right, I'm gonna bot a Mystic. Let's bot a Mystic. That's close. That's close. Ooh, that's a good one. And it's a good one because it turns on this Mox Opal, and then Mox Opal casts the Signal Pest, and then Signal Pest casts the Vault Skirge. Storm is 4, for anybody not paying attention. Thanks for the 11 months there, Nifty. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I also think there's a lot of people that just aren't aware of who he is and his history. Like, the Magic scene grew a bunch around Arena, and I think there's a lot of people who aren't familiar with what's going on there. Which, if you're one of those people new to the Magic community, Google is a great resource. Smash. That's rude. All right, so we're just passing here. Yep. Did the arena mod influx start? It should be coming up soon, Chalky. So that gets me a Cranial Plating, which sounds pretty good. Think I'm in for Cranial Plating. And then I think my plan here is animate this and then smack them for 2. That new green spell is basically going to be a 4 of in every green deck that plays creatures. Longer than my last 2 relationships combined. Well, welcome. Good to have you here in Hoaglandia. I'm gonna equip here and then smash them. Wouldn't be surprised to see this die. Oh, they're smashing the Cranial Plating. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For those of you that weren't here earlier when we pulled the Once Upon a Time spoiler up, spoiler season is in full swing starting today. If I were to jam it in blue-green info, I don't know. It's literally just going to go in like every green deck in Modern. It's just gonna be good in every green deck in Modern. It's kind of absurd, honestly. Hey, McFats, thanks for cashing in that half-off sub in September. Welcome. Yeah, I honestly, I hope them printing that card means they're going to be unbanning Faithless Looting. I really hope that's the case. Are they dead? They're probably pretty dead on the backswing, right? Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're not quite dead on the backswing. Sorry, did I say unbanned looting? I meant banned stirrings. My words. I'm talking and playing at the same time. Words. English. English is hard. Yeah, ban Neoform, please, would also be a nice request. Alright, so if I attack with everything here, they're taking 7, 8, 9 down to 6. They have 1 card in hand. If they 3 me, 4 me, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do I die to double 3 if I attack with everything? If I attack with everything, I die to... So each 3 is 5, because they add +2. Am I supposed to just do this and hope they brick next turn? I could leave back Blinkmoth Nexus and sack the Citadel to 8 them, and then they're still dead next turn and I have a blocker. And then if they go 3-3 or 3-4, I'm not dead. Because 3-4 would be 10. Yeah, I'm going to attack like this and leave a blocker back. So obviously I shouldn't have animated this. But it's not really a big deal because I'm sacking that land anyways. I guess the downside to sacking the land there is I can't have this pump itself. Helix is a beating. Well, I guess they're still dead, right? I'm attacking for 9 next turn. If they have a blocker, they're not dead. Alright, so they're dead. Even if they have, like, Deflecting Palm here, I just sack this. A second Helix means they're not dead. Yeah, second Helix saves them. Alright, sweet. So we're 3-0 against Burn with this deck. With 0 sideboard cards for the matchup, we're 3-0 against Burn. And we ate it to Karn the Great Creator, unsurprisingly. Alright, sure. So for the Burn matchup, I've been boarding out the 4th Stoneforge and bringing in 1 Dispatch. That's how we've been sideboarding. Yeah, I agree. Traditionally speaking, Affinity has always had a good Burn matchup. Yeah, we drew it and bottomed it in a mulligan. That's exactly correct. Ancient Stirrings. Are you Tron or Hardened Scales? Basic Forest implies Hardened Scales. Could be Tron, though. I guess Hardened Scales and Tron have similar numbers of Basic Forest. So here's actually this is really important, chat. If they don't ban Ancient Stirrings... Oh, they're playing Amulet Titan. If they don't ban Ancient Stirrings, chat, Tron gets to play Ancient Stirrings and Once Upon a Time. So, I really hope that card... I really hope that card means they're gonna ban Ancient Stirrings. Because... Yeah... Yeah. Welcome to Hoaglandia, Dark Confidant. Thanks for taking advantage of that September. This is a great example here, right? They named Thopter there. We're actually just gonna kill them on 4. Oh. Oh no! It's devoid, chat! It's devoid! That's so gross. Alright, well, I mean, we just forced them to trade, right? Just trade 3-drops. Yeah, nice protection from colors. But they paid a color! I don't understand, chat. They paid a color. Alright, so I think they're supposed to take Signal Pest here. Oh, lordy. If they're playing Allie's build, Allie was playing Karn the Great Creator in their main deck too, right? If I recall correctly. Are they dead to Inkmoth? They're dead to Inkmoth with the land draw, right? Yeah, we conceded to main deck Karn the Great Creator out of Eldrazi-Tron. Yeah, we were talking about design mistakes. Yikes, I almost wish they were playing Amulet instead. Alright, so Thoughtseize and Dispatch are great here. Ghirapur Aether Grid just lets us play through being Stony Silenced, I guess. Trim a Vault Skirge. Alright, let's try this. All right. Hopefully they'll mulligan and not find their Karn the Great Creator, and then we'll run them down. Maybe glass half full, this Once Upon a Time card means they're banning Ancient Stirrings, you know? That's fine. This hand is excellent. This hand's actually kind of okay against Karn the Great Creator, too. Just because it, like, puts a bunch of stuff into play and then attacks. So... think I'm supposed to just Signal Pest here, and hope to draw a land and just equip Cranial Plating next turn and run them down. I think that's the line. We might if we miss on the land, I might dispatch this Noble next turn to keep them off of Karn for an extra turn. That's a good question. I wonder if they're a cycle. I can see that. Yikes. Second Noble. Land, please. Land, please. Land, please. That's unfortunate. I guess I can hold up Galv Blast here now and blast Karn the Great Creator after floating mana. That doesn't seem unreasonable. They have a Dismember. I think Dismember means I can't afford to play around Karn the Great Creator and we're just gonna concede. Our deck's really good and powerful. Gets hosed in Modern, you know. Gets hosed by a 4 of made deck card. So, if we'd have ripped a land there, possibly. I guess they had the Dismember, so ripping a land didn't really matter. Get ready, sliding right on into that 3-2 home base. Beat Burn 3 times, lost the Karn the Great Creator twice. So, this deck, a lot like Dredge, I like playing robots and I like playing Dredge. It's just playing against strong sideboard hate with these decks, it just sucks, to be blunt. This hand's interesting. So we get to go turn 1, Opal, Memnite, Pest, Thoughtseize. And then we have second Thoughtseize plus Galv Blast. So we're hoping to draw one of our powerful 2s. But we have some disruption and a little bit of pressure in the interim. So Thoughteize is our best answer to Karn the Great Creator. Just take it away from them before they can cast it. They mulligan to 6. What you got? Double Path, Karn the Great Creator, Noble. Alright, so we're Galv Blasting Noble. No, Extended Rotated. Gargantuan, thank you for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It's kind of funny to me how many people have just forgotten that Extended Rotated. We're so far removed from it. People are just like, oh wait, that was a thing. It was a really long rotation cycle, but it's still rotated. Our draws have actually been really good here. Alright, I'll take a Cranial Plating next turn, please and thank you. We might get Double Path next turn. Alright. I honestly think they probably want a Double Path here. Yeah, they concur. They're gonna kill both the Signal Pests. And this is the real downside to playing our deck, right? When you get into situations like this, you have to draw Ornithopters. Okay, so now we have 1 power left, and they can be blinking our stuff. Really want to draw Cranial Plating this turn. Stoneforge Mystic, also good. And again, like, when you get into positions like this, you just want Cranial Plating so bad that it's just like, oh, this is why it's good to play 4 more copies of it in our deck. This is game 3 of match 5. Every green creature deck gets better with Once Upon a Time. They all get better. They all get better. Yikes. That's a good one. Wonder if they'll attack us for 3 if they want to take 1 in the backswing. Once upon a time, there was an Urza's Tower. Yeah, we're currently 3-1. This game could go either way currently. Depends on how good our top decks are versus theirs. The Inkmoth's not particularly good here because they have Field of Rune and I don't have another basic, so it's just Wasteland. So definitely want to get Cranial Plating and not Batterskull here because, what's the word that I'm searching for? Batterskull, a token, just gets blanked. Would Once Upon a Time slot into JAC? Yeah, probably. The card probably goes into every deck that can cast it. So we're down to 6 here. The fact that we hit Cranial Plating means that my opponent can't hold up, can't cast Reality Smasher because I'll just die. We'd actually like to draw a Springleaf Drum here because that lets us equip Cranial Plating at instant speed, which would be ideal. Sorry, I mean cast it not for free. Any deck that makes green mana probably wants copies of Once Upon a Time inside of it. For basically Impulse, not great. It's not just basically Impulse. Think of Once Upon a Time this way. Once Upon a Time is a card that when your hand needs a second land, it's a second land. And when your hand doesn't need a second land, it's likely a creature. That's why that card is powerful. They're dead here unless they drew something. So I get to slide Cranial Plating over to something after they flicker something. Sweet. We hit the 4-1. We beat a card in the Great Creator deck, so that's sweet. Yeah, I feel like this archetype every time we play traditional affinity, traditional robots, whatever you want to call it, it feels very reasonable. We've played this deck enough. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to do some updates to my... So just to get as a general note, I will not be live at all tomorrow. I have something I have to do. That's why I streamed yesterday. So I did 4 Modern decks yesterday. So if you're looking for content tomorrow, be sure to check out my YouTube channel as always. But I think I'm going to add this variation of robots to the website. We've played different non-Stoneforge Mystic variations of it in the past. And every time we play this archetype, it's just like... yeah, this deck's pretty good. It's just like, this is just one of those decks where, like we said, when it posts a top 8 result, you're not surprised because it's doing genuinely powerful things and it's pretty consistent, but it's also not so omnipresent in the format that, like, you're surprised when it doesn't show up. So, I might honestly want a third Thoughtseize just because that seems like our best tool for punching through Karn the Great Creator, but... I felt like that set of games really showed why it's good against Burn is one of the better decks and how we can still beat through Karn the Great Creator on occasion. At any rate, that's going to be it for my Modern portion of today. We're going to roll on into a couple of decks in Standard here on Arena. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Remember, if you want more Modern content for myself, check out my website and my YouTube channel, magicesports.net or youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. I am going to get Arena loaded up here, but I'm going to go ahead and run to the restroom before we dive on into the first match. Thanks everyone for hanging out today. An update is required. Oh no. Oh right, I technically knew that this was happening. There's an update. All right, let's see. Maybe we're not playing Standard. So this page hasn't been updated yet with the alternative installer. It was last updated September 4th. So maybe I'm running to the restroom and then doing another Modern League. Maybe that's the case. Yeah, if this isn't updated, the updater doesn't work for me. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick, and when I get back, we'll figure out what we're doing. BRB. All right. Modern. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, let's do this. So, one of the next decks in the deck queue for Modern is Neoshul Brand. So let's take a peek at this, shall we? Hey, thanks for 11 months, Jace. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Fair and balanced magic here. I have to go get cards for this from MTGO traders. For those of you that were hoping for standard, WotC hasn't updated the alternative installer yet, their MSI installer, and their stock updater doesn't work for me, so I have to wait for their MSI installer to get updated. I mean, this is basically a green cantrip, right? I think 4 main deck Dissenter's Deliverance is fine. That's the cut for Once Upon a Time. Yes, it is. We dropped off 100 people that were apparently here waiting for standard. Apologies. Hopefully we'll get in at least one standard deck today if they get the updater. Otherwise we'll be back on Wednesday with some standard. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not super sad to spend more time playing Modern. Modern post Faithless Looting Ban is like pretty good. Once upon a time, I subbed to Jeff. Thank you for the 4 months there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. My best piece of advice for people who are trying to learn Modern is, in addition to making sure you're using the Stream Decker tool to be familiar with the cards that I'm playing, a website such as Scryfall is a great source for looking up cards that my opponents have played so you can get familiar with those. I do know it is a little bit of a challenge to learn on Magic Online since it doesn't have a mouse over overlay. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Once Upon a Time is going to be good in literally every green deck with creatures. Holy crap. Let me pull up a bigger picture of this. Wow, there are some good ones in the set. This is another card that's very, very good. This card's probably Modern playable too. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2. And it's an instant speed. And it's a 2/3 lifelink. And when it dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. So you can just keep getting it back out again and again and again. This card's absurd. And again, for people who aren't familiar with how these cards work, when you cast Swift End, you exile this instead of putting it in your graveyard, and then you can cast the creature half. So you cast Swift End, and then you exile this card, and then you can play the creature from exile. And it's a knight. Knight is very important as well. This is an alternate art version. The CMC of Magic cards is always the number printed in the upper right-hand corner. Hey, Pilot Ninja, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They are creatures everywhere. They do not get duressed. Creatures everywhere but the stack when you're casting the instant or sorcery half. Hey, Sniff Power, thanks for the third of a year.